the best things in life for free. But you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want.
And lots of it. But no luck there so far. Wilson Luna, good evening.
Good evening, Walter. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Your Family, Your Money at yourfamilyyourmoney.com. Just before we start talking about credit cards and how bad we are at saving in this state, I just thought I should bring up, we're talking about money, people needing money at the moment. This came to my attention today, a fundraiser garage sale for a 3-year-old girl, Charlotte, who has, unfortunately, cystic fibrosis, which is a terrible affliction for a child. And if you can help the cause, it's at 22 Ralph Street at Clontarf on Friday, the 21st of October, between 8 and 4. And then on the Saturday, the next day, the 22nd of October, between 6 and 12 midday. They'll do lucky dips for the kids, choose your raffle prize you'd like to win, guess the jelly beans and the columbines, and everything will be cheap as chips. Marie, one of our regulars from Clontarf, is the lady organising this for her lovely Charlotte, who's nearly 3 and has cystic fibrosis, so any donations and help to set up would be appreciated. We'll give you pass on the numbers to you if you can get in touch with us here at 4BC tonight on 1332. Good on you, Marie. Regular to this show, and we try to do as much as we can to help and support her in that case. Wilson?
Yeah, look, mate, if you could send me through those details as well through email.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to, we've got a lot of members over there in Queensland, and I'd like to pass that on to anyone that might
Oh,
not be
terrific.
tonight, if that's okay.
That would be wonderful. Thanks, mate. Thanks for your help on that. Yeah, talking Your Family, Your Money tonight. Just before we get into that, I was saying at the icebreaker engagements, you and your wife, how long were you engaged for?
She wanted to kill me. I think you're losing. I'll tell you exactly. I met her. It's around about 5 years.
5 years?
It was a while.
That's a long engagement.
It was a while, yeah. And we knew each other almost for, we've known each other for much more than that. So yeah, I was pretty slack on that front until she sort of put me on track and said, "Look, what are we going to do here?" I went, "Okay."
Slacker than Shane Hurley.
I heard that story. That was a long time.
Hurley thing. Well, there was another couple, 26 years. 26 years. What about
my
us?
wife would have killed me if I would have waited that long, to be honest. Yeah. How about yourself, Walter? How long?
Just a year.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Organised.
Good man, no wonder.
Organised, mate.
Yeah.
That's it. No mucking around. You got a goal in mind. You got a target. It's like when I go shopping. I don't go shopping. I go hunting. I know what I'm looking for, and I will go in. I get it. I get out. And well, I know that sounds a little unromantic, but 12 months later, there we were, married. So, but you 5 years, mate. Dragging it, but you're loving it now.
It was bad form, it was, really.
Yeah, no regrets. No regrets.
No returns now, no.
Exactly. No returns. You can't do that.
Actually, I take that back as fast as I put it out there.
Now, credit cards aren't being issued properly. I remember the first one I got, I think I was about 19 when they sent out one of these things to me, and I said, what the heck? But, you get sucked into it.
Yeah.
You go free money. You don't realise how stupid you are. But it's not free money, is it? It's expensive money.
Yeah, look, this is a really interesting area because there's been a little bit of press on this side, and what I suppose the biggest concern out there at the moment is that when you go in, you see a teller for whatever reason, let's say you deposit money or get it out, particularly when you know your bank. And there's a lot of reports out there at the moment that a lot of their KPIs or a lot of their key performance indicators, what they need to sort of perform their duties, is to upsell product.
Yep.
So this is part of it. So, it's almost like, do you want fries with this?
Yeah, it's almost like...
Here's what I believe the big issue is here. For starters, there's a lot of people, particularly more elderly people, that have a great relationship with their bank because that's the way that we used to have it once upon a time. Yeah, we didn't have many ATMs and everything. And here's where I think that the grey area becomes that you go over there and maybe they're talking to you as a friend. And they're not making it very clear that what they're recommending you for is that they're actually selling you. They're putting it in a way that, look, have you had a look at this new, extra special credit card that we've got on offer? And here's where a lot of, I don't see any issue with them cross-selling a product. Let's be clear here. But what I do see issue with is not disclosing up front
yes,
that that's part of their duty and that they do get remunerated in some way, even if it's through a bonus, even if it's through, meeting their goals, that they're moving you across something. And unfortunately, people that have the trust factor with their counter, with the teller, are falling into it in a lot of cases. And we've got a problem where we've got 49 billion in credit card debt, and almost 15 billion of that isn't getting paid. So it's like, how much responsibility should we be putting on the banks not to do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
We should be putting a bit of pressure on banks just to be upfront and be just a bit more honest about what they're doing. I mean, it's not like their profit margins are low.
Look, I'll give you a quick story. Talking about credit cards, I had one of my cards that, for whatever reason, I haven't been getting the statements. When I haven't, I just ignored it. 1 month went into another, and it was only about 3 days ago I get a call from. It was actually, funnily enough, it was from the bank saying, look, it's gone way into arrears. And you owe, I think it was $73 or something. And I said, well, just debit it out of that and it's fine, yeah? And they said, yeah, it's already gone into arrears. And I said, but it's got to be more than 73 because, I haven't received the statement for a little while. And the comment was, and the bank will remain unnamed, but the comment was, oh, no, all we really want you to pay is the $73 because that's the minimum amount. And I'm into the habit of always paying the entire amount because I don't like to accrue interest, particularly.
It's a good habit if you can do it.
The only habit, and if my recommendation is always, if you can't do that, cut up the card because you should always be paying it up front because otherwise the interest is incredible on them. And it was just, I said it about 3 times and said, no, I want to know the full amount. And it was interesting because as I kept asking it, they kept saying, no, but all you really need to pay is the 73. And I'm thinking, why? Yeah, obviously it's your business to keep me in debt, but let's take care of this. And I think it's a very big reminder to a lot of people that from a bank perspective, they're there to make profits. So whenever they do ask you to pay that minimum amount, ignore it and just pay as much of it as possible, particularly from a principal perspective.
Did they realise who they were talking to? Wilson Luna, your family, your money.
No, it was an interesting conversation because all I was trying to do was just get the full amount out of it. And they wouldn't give it to us because of that. So it's something to be wary of, particularly because unless I would have asked, I would have actually probably paid the 73 because I would have thought that was the whole amount.
They're sly dogs. You've got to watch them. And it's easy to see how we all get stuck on this debt treadmill, isn't it? With that minimum each month. If you don't pay any more than that, you are in deep doo-doo.
You end up paying 3% of the amount is the minimum amount usually. 3%, and the debt accrues at around about some accounts up to 28% or 20 to 28%. And it's like you'll never end up paying it. I think the numbers are backed against you that you never pay it, and obviously that's where the banks make their money, but obviously that's where a lot of Aussie families are struggling because they got into that debt treadmill and after all the interest accrued so much that they can't pay off the interest on it. It's almost like the American government, to be honest.
So we've got to be vigilant about this.
Yes, absolutely, mate.
Oh, nice little snippet about the US government there.
But yeah, and the other one's about the bank. So when you go to your teller, always make sure that if they try and move you to another product, ask them specifically up front and just say, give me the T's and C's and I want to know exactly why you're doing this. Make it clear because I think it's a bit, from my point of view, I think it's a bit rude that somebody goes out there and pushes across, look, this is what we're doing and acting really friendly to get this as a bonus. And in a lot of cases, it's part of their work environment or part of their conditions to work to try and get so many cross-sells. You should know about it when they do it.
And as you say, at the end of the day, you just got to remember, these are bank employees. They're working for the bank. They're not working for you. Guess which way they're going to go.
Oh, yeah. They're making profit. They're making enough profits at the moment, to be honest.
They certainly are. Yeah. They're doing okay. So when someone asks you, would you like a credit card with that, you say no.
A debit card would be okay, but not a credit card.
Exactly. I saw some competition the other day. They're giving away a $25,000 card, and it was, I thought, that could get you into trouble.
Yeah.
That could get you into trouble down the track.
Well, one of our major banks got in trouble a couple of months ago with they were actually giving away a credit card with $100 of credit in it included, and they actually did it through coupon sites. And there was a massive uproar because it's not a gift that they're giving away. They're making it look like if it's a special gift that they're giving away, but they're giving you credit. And people always need to keep that in mind that the credit that's there. Usually, no matter how much of a gift it is, there is an annual fee to it, and there is, that temptation that if you're not sure how to use it, you shouldn't be using it.
Exactly. More with Wilson Luna in just a moment. Your family, your money. We'll take a look at the interest rates for our mortgagee belt.
In 24 hours, anything can happen.
And when it does,
we've got it covered so you don't miss a thing. Nights with Walter Williams, Brisbane's own.
1116 4BC.
My youngest kid's at school now, so I thought I should get a job. I just needed a bit of training. It was so easy to find a course that suited me. I got a recognised qualification and a new job. I like being an example for my kids, and it's work I enjoy. It's flexible and allows me to do the school pickup. You can improve your qualifications too. If I can do it, you can do it. Visit australia.gov.au/skills or call 133 196. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra, spoken by D. Cooney.
This is Billy's Nissan Petrie.
Hey, yeah, it's Steve here. Imagine this, a free-riding Dave Nukes drag racing car with every Nissan sold.
Mate, do you know how much that'll cost us, Steve? Just tell them to come in and check out our great range of new Nissans and ask about the LBA.
Huh?
Mate, local buyers allowance. Remember I told you about this? We really look after all our locals, our friends, family, everybody.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, bongo.
Hey?
Village Nissan Petrie. Beyond the price, beyond the sale, beyond the car. villagemotors.com.au.
On you, Steve. Underbelly Razor is stunning audiences Sunday nights on Channel 9, and coming soon, your chance to join the stars at the special 4BC Channel 9 Underbelly Razor Cast Party. This week we're out on the streets handing out the exclusive passes that gain access to an amazing underworld you'll never forget. Stay listening for locations and your chance to win, thanks to the Treasury Casino and Hotel, Channel 9 and Brisbane's own 1116 4BC.
Is your super getting smashed? Like to know how to fix it? When you can answer yes to that question, you'll be able to change your life by smart investing. The Share Market College gives you the knowledge and the know-how you need to control your money. Thousands of Australians are already better off because they call the Share Market College on 1300 30 90 40. Get the power of know-how. Call the Share Market College today. 1300 30 90 40. Change your life. 1300 30 90 40. Get the power of know-how. The Share Market College. 1300 30 90 40.
I've just been handed an urgent message from Commercial Radio Australia. Effective immediately, radio advertising... That seems to be all there is. Well, that must be because 64% of listeners take action as a result of hearing an ad on the radio, which makes radio advertising effective immediately. Go to commercialradio.com.au for the proof. People listen to radio advertising.
Azure Blue, your premier retirement communities in Redcliffe and Carina. azureblue.com.au or call 1800 007 218.
4BC's Talking Gardening with Cole Campbell and Claire Lavanda have thousands of dollars worth of Azito tools to give away in their Give It a Go in the Garden promotion. For your chance to win the ultimate Azito prize pack, visit 4bc.com.au and send us a photo of what you're giving a go in the garden. Then stay listening to 4BC's Talking Gardening, weekends from 6. Thanks to Azito. Give it a go with Azito. Available from Bunnings on Brisbane's own 1116 4BC.
14 to 9. Wilson Luna talking to us this half hour with Your Family, Your Money. Coming up next, our psychic readings with Charmaine Wilson before Wednesday night's pub trivia, quizzing you on the natural world. How do you reckon you'd go at that?
Mate, I'll tell you every single week, there's no way in the world I'd get any of those answers right. Yeah, I'm really bad at those kind of things. Board games, anything like that, yeah, I'm a disaster.
Funny you talk about board games, because we're going to be discussing that a little bit later tonight when we've got our Antiques and Collectibles man, Rick Milne, on. Yes, because we all love a good board game, don't we?
Yep.
Now, interest rates are expected to stay on hold for the rest of the year after the central bank confirmed inflation was easing. I know there was talk recently that maybe they might even dip a little, because some of the banks are lowering their fixed interest rates, aren't they?
Yeah,
voluntarily.
Yeah, they are. I think it's a sign of where they believe the RBA will be going down in the future. So generally when they lower their fixed rates, they take a longer term view. So they build outward. So they're thinking to themselves that over the medium term, the RBA is more likely to drop the rates. That's the reason why they'd be dropping the longer term rates. But yeah, it's an interesting one that they're actually taking that stance on the fixed one.
The reason we're even discussing this ahead of Melbourne Cup Day, because that's when we'll find out, the truth to this, is the minutes have come out from the last board meeting of the RBA in October, on my birthday, on the 4th, and it showed that the bank was taking a bit of a wait-and-see approach and cutting the cash rate from its current level of 4.75%, and that's exactly what they are doing, isn't it?
Well, look, if we look at the difference at the moment, and this is an interesting point actually, the differential between what they're lending and what they're paying in interest is quite large. What they're charging for a loan and what they're paying on interest. If you compare it to, let's say, a year ago, a year and a half ago, where you could get a return on your money of, so I think the Westpac Bank had it at about 8% fixed term over, I think it was 5 years. You can't get anywhere close to that at the moment. So they've significantly dropped what they're paying for deposits, period. And what they're doing at the moment is they're matching their longer terms, because what banks do is that they match their deposits with their lending. And if you look at the longer term, I suppose, interest rates, they've taken a little bit of a whacking. So the matching's changing now, which is good, I suppose, from the point of view if you're borrowing money, but if you're investing money with them and you're looking for a fixed rate, you're probably going to get a lot less in the future, the way it's looking.
Well, that's true. A lot of retirees listening to this program tonight we're going, well, there goes my investment,
Yeah, look, it's one of those things at the moment, period. It's difficult to be getting a higher rate than what you were, let's say, as I said, 12 months ago. And it's a sign of the times where the banks, I think, are going to be playing with a bigger differential between what they lend and what they're prepared to pay for deposits. And I think they're going to be, my view is they're going to start, they're going to try and get a lot more. They've got a lot more deposits now than what once upon a time they did, particularly when the credit crisis happened, which is a comfortable place to be. So it's going to be interesting where they go with that, particularly if they think that the RBA is going to keep them constant for the next few years. I personally see things going sideways for a while until at least we see some serious, blue sky ahead, and there's no signs of it yet. It's just a matter of, I think what we're finding in the markets as well is we're finding that any single news that comes out of, overseas, we're almost like they'll sniffle, our markets will get hit. There's a little bit of good signs, our markets are moving forward. And it's not the kind of time where anyone should be speculating or anything in the market, my belief. My belief is if you're going to walk into the market right now, there might be a really good time, but you've got to walk in it for the longer term. If, number one, you've got to pick the right stocks, you've got to pick undervalued stocks, and number three, you want to make sure that you're not in there, don't go in there and do a punter, and I hear a lot of stories about people saying, I'll walk in, I'll walk out of the market. The time at the moment, there's too much volatility to do something like that, so be very, very careful if you decide to go. Do
the shirt on your back if you
Yeah, exactly. And there's no saying that things can't get a lot worse, and there's no saying things can't improve dramatically either, so it's like a risk at the moment, unless you're investing long term.
In your crystal ball, how long do you reckon they'll keep the RBA, will keep interest rates as they are rather than cut them?
It's interesting. I believe that post the end of the year, I think we're going to, if things from a small business perspective, I think they're going to have to stop looking at the one sector that's travelling okay, which is the mining. I think they're going to have to look at the broader economy and say, look, if we relieve these rates, we're not only going to relieve it for consumers and their mortgages, but B, we're also going to be helping small business indirectly. Because we're going to put hopefully a little bit more cash in people's pockets and hopefully increase their ability to spend. So I would probably say if nothing changes and we still get this volatility, I wouldn't be surprised whether we're going to see a drop in rates early next year. But that's me completely crystal balling, and I wouldn't put a bet on it, but that's how I would see things continue like this. You'd have to think that they're going to have to start looking at people with mortgages, and you'd have to think that they're going to have to start considering especially small business, especially if we start seeing that the unemployment rate continues to go up. That's the biggest indicator at the moment that I think they're going to be looking at. They're going to work out, that we've got to keep that unemployment number, as consistent as we can during these periods.
Absolutely. Yeah. Talking cash, we'll find out how much Queenslanders are tucking away in the bank next. It's 8 minutes to 10. I'm talking to Wilson Luna tonight from yourfamilyyourmoney.com on Brisbane's own 1116 4BC.
Your calls.
Your city.
Your station.
Why don't we talk? Nights with Walter Williams. Brisbane's own
1116 4BC.
Like to feel you're in another world, free from life's responsibilities for a while? Follow the ocean road along 37 kilometres of unspoiled surfing beaches on one side and mountains and heritage-listed national parks on the other, yet barely over an hour's drive from Brisbane. I'm Cam from CLM, and I'm talking about the perfect location for affordable, elegant apartment and beach house living by the sea. The price? Fully furnished apartments, $199,000. Beach houses at $299,000 and luxurious 3-bedroom apartments from $340,000 to $395,000. Truly something for everyone. Available now at below cost. Perfect for investment, retirement, your super, and family holidays. Guaranteed rentals from $300 a week. Secure your place with $1,000 down. I urge you to hurry as availability is limited. Call us now on 1-800-65-8787. That's 1-800-65-8787.
4BC's Our Brisbane for Hyundai's 3-day sale ends this weekend.
The Craft and Quilt Fair is on at the Brisbane Convention Centre through until Sunday. It's open from 9 to 5 daily. There's a gala comedy show at the Pine Rivers Bowls Club. That's at Bray Park on Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. And Racecourse Road Business Group and the Marta Foundation Chicks in Pink invite you to the Eagle Farm Markets on Sunday for their big world record attempt. For more details, go to 4bc.com.au.
It's an interesting and disturbing fact that a rat's teeth never stop growing. And to think these disgusting rodents could be crawling around your house, spreading their germs and chewing through your wiring. Pestrol Rodent Free is an electromagnetic ultrasonic ionic rodent repeller that repels rats and mice and helps with the control of cockroaches from your home 24/7. No fuss, no mess, no traps. Just plug it in and walk away. Get your Pestrol Rodent Free with a 60-day money-back guarantee today and protect your home from invasion. Visit pestrol.com.au or free call 1-800-338888. 1-800-338888.
It's spring clearance time at Mr. Toys Toy World. Get massive discounts on top brands like Razor scooters, Susu pets, Barbie dolls and Lego. But hurry, these spring clearance deals won't last long. Visit your local Mr. Toys Toy World or mrtoys.com.au.
You'll find the biggest display showroom, biggest display of mag wheels, biggest selection of tyres and the biggest deals on wheels and tyres at Graham Street Wheels and Tyres, 15 Moss Street, Slacks Creek, 3208 5208.
Oh, I'm afraid Frank suffers from dementia.
Gwen is 73 and cares for her husband.
Yes, at my age, caring can be tiring. And it makes me so scared to think about what might happen if I'm not around to care for him. But after 48 years of marriage, no one can care for Frank like me. And it's made us even closer.
Anyone, anytime could be a carer. You can connect at carersaustralia.com.au/carersweek. Carers Week is funded by the Australian Government.
This is 4BC.
Stay up to date with what's happening around Brisbane at 4bc.com.au.
Brisbane's own 1116 4BC.
4 minutes to 9, wrapping up all things financial tonight with Your Family, Your Money and Wilson Luna, who makes good common sense and in terms that we can all relate to, Wilson. I think that's one of the best things about talking to you about money. Mate, Queenslanders, we're not a good mob when it comes to saving, is it?
Yeah, look, the truth is, I think Queenslanders have been through a bit in the last couple of years. So
yeah, that's true. So
it's a tough one. Unlike Melbourne, and Melbourneites actually are said to be saving a lot more. So I suppose it must be the weather, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's got a little bit to do with why we're dipping into our savings here in the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Dun and Bradstreet kind of factored that into this survey. It's all very nice when you sit in your ivory towers. But if you're out in the streets and you post our summer of disasters here in Queensland, and look what's happening up in Gladstone and Rocky at the moment, so much rain about. Well, they reckon compared with previous years when we had credit card fueled shopping sprees, they reckon that fueled retail spending, and nearly 2/3 of consumers have said that they would use their own savings this time to pay for Christmas 2011. Now, if we haven't got a lot of savings to pay for it, then it's going to be a bit of a glum festive season for retailers, isn't it?
I think this will be the Christmas season to look out for retail, to be honest. I think there's been a major shift between people buying from shops and people buying online. And I think, I was actually talking to an analyst that does a lot of the retail space, and he was saying that this is one that everyone's looking out for because they say that Christmas period is such a big proportion of the year spending that everyone's, going to be eyeing that out big time to see, okay, well, has the thing shifted and is there, is it time for us to really start moving into that, or at least transitioning or covering that online world if you are a retailer. So hopefully it's not too bad because unfortunately small businesses hurt when that happens, but not much we can do about it, unfortunately.
No, and as we've pointed out, us Queenslanders are behind the national average when it comes to that personal financial buffer zone.
Yeah.
And, the floods and the cyclones haven't helped that. And we have hardly any savings, apparently $2,950 compared with $7,812 nationally. So almost a quarter of us have no savings at all. That's even scarier.
I would probably seriously, I would attribute it to the last 2 years. I would. I really would. I believe that, and also, you guys have probably got much better weather, so there's a lot more to do out there.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Actually, it's tongue in cheek, but yeah, I think if I lived in Queensland, I'd be spending a lot more. I got to tell you.
We're not sitting indoors taking it easy. We're out there enjoying the sunshine.
Enjoying it a lot more.
Yeah, and here's one more for you. A third of Queensland and New South Wales households are going to have difficulty meeting their credit obligations during the December quarter.
That's a big issue. That's a big issue, particularly the amount of debt out there, and that's an issue that needs to be addressed whenever possible. So if you're out there and you're going through that, first thing post, don't start the year off on more credit because of the Christmas. It's not worth that special period, that period.
Yeah.
Get yourself in further debt. And one suggestion is, make gifts like,
do it
more
yourself.
thoughtful gifts versus expensive gifts. Whatever you need to do, but don't start the new year on bigger debt.
Or re-gift, as you said at the beginning, but not your wife. Wilson Luna, thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you, mate. Keep up the great work, huh?
Good on you, mate. Your family, your money, 1300 171 777. That's the number to call Wilson on.
4BC News.